cuts.
No cuts. Let's get it on and popping.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, baby.
Welcome in episode 2. It's a Soul Talk.
Soul Talk.
And my name is Terrell.
I'm Samuel.
And we're back at episode 2 again. Unfortunately, we had I would say a very mysterious technical difficulty. I'll just kind of leave it at that for those who know. And
the video was corrupt.
Hey.
But whatever.
Yeah, we tried. Man, anyways, we're going to redo it and try to filter ourselves a little differently and better this time. But anyways, this episode is going to be about what the beginning looks like as far as living through truth and the sacrifices it takes to live in that manner every day, every minute, everything you say, breathe, all of the above.
Yes, sir. So what did that look like to you? Whenever you first, well, I mean, when I say you first started, you kind of always been this way, but for you in your early years and in your 1s through 10s and teens, stuff like that.
I mean, a big thing is really integrity. You know, I don't know what it was or how it meant to me. I don't know why it stood out to me, but integrity, when I first learned it, you know, I can think of vividly. I was like in high school, probably a freshman, sophomore in high school, and I picked up some trash. I was in the basketball game. I picked up some trash, threw it away.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, you know, whatever. But my coach comes by and he's seen that, and he's like, man, you got some good integrity, man. I kind of going on about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, integrity, like, what's the definition of integrity? He's like, just something you're doing that no one has got to watch. You know, something that you're doing by yourself or with people around you, just who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. You know,
seems like a big deal.
And it just stuck with me the whole time. And what do you know? You know,
and
integrity is big, yeah. So
I feel like, at least for me, I mean, I heard about integrity around the same age, but I always knew it was important, but I feel like now it's more of it's more natural now to be, what's the word? Integrity? I don't know what the word is. To be like to have good integrity. But it's a lot more natural now, but I will say in the beginning stages of this, it is an effort. It is a conscious effort, you know, as if you're somebody like me that's been through a lot of negative things, done a lot of negative things. It's almost natural to do the wrong thing sometimes, or it seems easier to do the wrong thing. And so you have to be conscious. You have to be willing to put in that effort and consciously think, okay, nobody's here, but I need to do what I need to do. You know what I mean? I need to wake up and go to the gym every morning and have good integrity. You know what I'm saying?
And it's just doing the right thing. Like, it's hard for me not to pick up that trash, you know, and walk past it. Like, I don't know. I mean, certain situations, of course, say if I'm at work.
Opening the bag?
No, I'm going to say if I'm at work.
Keep going.
But, like, say if I'm at work, I might pass up the trash. Not only because, you know, I might not be in the mood or feel like it necessarily, which is not a good enough excuse, but I have other duties that I'm taking care of, and it's someone else's duty to pick up that trash while I'm doing my other duties. So, you know, it just kind of depends on the situation, but if you have the time, you know, like one time when I was living in Hazel Park in Michigan off 9 Mile, I had a car, you know, 2018 car. That was my best car in my life so far, you know, like, I'm like, I can do anything. I can drive anywhere. Yeah. And I was getting food. Can't remember the exact occasion, but I think I was getting food. But I seen a mom carrying like a 2-year-old, maybe 4-year-old, somewhere around there, and walking. You know, I'm like, I could easily just pick them up.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. I stopped and by, said, you need a ride? Boom, take them. They're going to the bus stop. They're walking a few miles to the bus stop and then going from the bus stop to somewhere. So I was, the least I can do is take you to the bus stop, you know, because at least you're trying, you're walking, you have your child, you know, you don't have a man that can do this for you. So if I'm capable, I will.
I think that's really important. I mean, at least through our experiences, and maybe we were meant to do this podcast a little late because, I mean, you say that, and I think about having integrity in those situations, not even about picking up the trash, but saying the right things to these people, you know, that's what we owe to these people. So, you know, we talked about last night whenever we went out and we see these homeless guy and he's saying, I want to work for money. And I could give you $1.50, I could give you $2, but we sat there for maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and just preached to him. Just like more just, look, we love you. I see the love in your face. Can you wash dishes? Can you do these things? You know, me and him have both been in bad situations as well. And look at us, you know, we're able to do these things and overcome these obstacles. Why can't you? You know, you have people that love you, you have people that support you, and I owe that to that man, because if that was me on that street, I'd want somebody to say that to me as well. You know,
and not only that, it's tough love in a sense, which is kind of how I love in a way, because that's how I was brought up. But I think it's better in a way as well, because say it's the homeless man, we don't want to give him fish. I don't want to give anybody fish. I want to teach you how to fish. Because then I'm not helping you give me fish. I'm not helping you, because we're going to be gone and you're not going to know how to get more fish. So
absolutely,
might as well teach you how to fish, and you'll get your own fish forever.
I haven't thought about that analogy in years, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's all we need to do. Keep things basic and simple. Life is really easy. We as human beings make it very complicated with the gray areas, but it's really yin and yang, black or white.
I see.
Do or don't.
I would say besides integrity, what do you think it takes in the beginning? I know we've talked about it takes sacrifice.
Yes. It also takes
crucifixion on a daily basis.
Yeah, I would say a lot of things are societal. You know, this is why we're spiritual beings in a materialistic world. So once you understand the manipulations on this earth and what it's meant for and what it does to you in your consciousness, you can differentiate what's real and what's not. I'm trying to think of, it's hard to not to result back to the TV, but the TV is huge. It's huge. It's really huge. It's big. It's what creates people's thoughts, actions. They can see someone argue on TV, and as soon as they get in an argument, they can refer back to the television argument.
Yeah.
And they're never going to show you the right thing on the TV. The TV is played at a 6th grade level. All TV is played at a 6th grade level.
Intentionally.
Yes. And this is just not something I'm saying. I read this out of a book called Behold the Pale Horse. And he was, it's by William Cooper. He was a naval intelligence at Clearance Q, if you know anything about that, very high clearance.
Might be a little too far.
But it's a book, a public book that you can buy.
I know, but not the full version.
Yes, that's where I got it.
The full version?
That's what made me not get the audiobook, because I did research and they said the audiobook is partially
edited?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I heard.
So I got the paperback on purpose, but this is what he is saying. And he had a lot of information he could get his hands on. And he was told that television is played at a 6th grade level, which totally makes sense to me, because it's hard for me to watch TV.
I mean, me too.
Yeah.
Well, ever since like maybe a year and a half ago, people.
I watch it, going back to the arguments, that's nothing I would do in real life. Anything that happens on TV, I would never do in real life. It's real rare that I get some advice or something that I agree with that's on TV. You know, it's all BS, false ideologies.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a TV show and it really made you think, or it really made you, you know,
that's why people watch TV.
Exactly. It's mindless.
Yeah.
I don't want to say who it was, but somebody that you know more than me, but they were talking about doing TV and how they love watching mindless TV shows and they love watching things that they don't got to think about. And it's like, that's gut wrenching to me. You know, we talked about it. I talked about it on the last podcast. I'm trying to remember, like, you know, what I said on the one that got deleted, but for me, ever since I started this journey, a big part of my life has been podcasts, documentaries, a lot of nonfiction material, right? And so whether that's business, whether that's your psyche, whether that's your consciousness, you know, talking to these people, seeing these people, listening to these people, it's benefited me so much more than watching The Walking Dead or watching God knows what. You know what I mean? And so I know you brought up that book last time. of the vitamins and things of that nature. And some of the books that you've told me about, or some of the definitely we can't speak on them. If y'all have any questions on what these books and documentaries are, please comment. Like, please DM us. I want to tell you, but we cannot risk.
We're just trying to play it safe this time.
And but this certain documentary that I've watched has changed my whole view on working. It's changed the whole view on taxes, on everything. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's fucked up that we can't say what we want. But it's made me smarter. I feel like I'm learning something on a daily basis. If a quote from David Goggins, do something that sucks every day. And if you don't like learning, if you don't like putting effort into your intelligence and your consciousness, that's how you grow. That's how you grow being disciplined.
And that's how you learn your own morals, and you find out your own philosophies. You know, we do a lot of scrolling on social media, and we see a lot of quotes and things that can make sense to us. But little do you know, you could make your own quotes and your own philosophies if you were to think open and critically think, you know, and deal with your own problems. You could all have these own opinions on your own truths, because it's all truth. You can find out your own truths, your own way.
Philosophers.
Yeah, we all are.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times you and I have sat here, obviously camera off, and just talked about life's problems. I mean, just before this, we're sitting here talking about life, talking about pictures, talking about the important things, and you know, creating memorabilia of each other, and remembering who we are, and just the start of this journey. There's so many important things, and I say for me, sorry to go off on a little tangent, but back to the morals is, for me, that's a big part of starting this journey, or starting, you know, your consciousness, your awakening, being a genuine person. Is, what do you believe? You know, what are you willing to die for? What are you willing to scream about? You know, so for me, a lot of these things that I speak on, I care. I really give a fuck if you have a good life or not. You know, I don't even know you, and I fucking care. You know, like, I say that with passion because I mean it. And so for me, I find out my morals by, what do I not believe in? I don't believe in evil. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in corruption. I don't believe in taking advantage of one another. So in turn, I believe in love. I believe in unity. I believe in truth and transparency. And those are just some of my morals that I'm passionate about. So,
not only that, your words, every word, every syllable means something to you and to everyone else. So that's part of aligning your morals as well. Like, what are you saying and how are you saying? You know, is it good intentions, pure intentions, or is it all directed to come back to you for a reason? Like, I'll drop a lot of gems to people, you know, on purpose to help them. You know, I don't care about me, you know. I do care about me, but as far as mano y mano, I'm dealing with someone who's a little lost. Like, here you go. Here's here's how to fish. I'm gonna teach you how to fish. So, you know, that just shows how much I care. So as long as we can all listen and apply the knowledge, not just listen, but we apply it, you know, it'll show. Results show.
And I'd say that's people's natural intention, is to, if you learn something, you want to share it. I'd say the biggest problem with that scenario is people's pride and taking in that knowledge. You know, for me as a young man, I didn't want to accept that I didn't know everything. You know, I was very prideful, egotistical. You don't got the answers. You know, you're not rich. You know what I mean? Like, fuck what you got to say, because I'm doing better than you. Like, what are you talking? You know, so I find that constant struggle with certain people that I really love and care about is, what's up?
I will say, because I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm not rich right now, currently. Maybe soon. Maybe soon, you know, that's what, of course, we all strive for. Not necessarily the money and gold, but the freedom and peace, you know. So I am rich in the sense of health. I am rich in the sense of peace and
wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom, mentality. I'm rich. I'm rich in those things. So even if I had money per se, I want to give you all the money. I want to give you my riches. So whatever I'm rich in, I'm here for it to give you everything, you know. And that's, I guess I'll just drop it real quick. But that's how conspiracies start.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't have the knowledge, we don't know. So what's a conspiracy is technically a theory. Nowadays they're facts, but we'll go with the theory right now and say, you know, it's a possibility, but no one knows the truth. So of course a conspiracy, you know, because the truth is being hidden and withheld from us. So I have to break that curse and give you the truth because this is all I have, everything I got.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it
what
all
we
on
live
the
for.
floor. Yeah,
I mean, that's where it gets complicated is, especially with this last podcast, for example. You know, we want to tell you guys everything we know, every little piece of wisdom, love. You know, you're talking about you rich in health and you rich in all these things. Obviously, I'm not the richest in health, but I'm rich in love. I'm rich in, you know, I'm very loving. I'm like
rich in emotion, man. He brings the emotion out of me.
See, yeah.
It really is helping me grow emotionally. No homo, but
Shut up, bitch. No, but
it's hard,
but we talked about it last time, the yin and yang.
Yeah.
And I think we might have talked about it off camera, but I feel like that's the definition of you and I. And I feel like that's why this podcast is so important because you have that mental, logical side to you of course, this is what I should do. Why would I not do this? Or in this situation, oh, this person fucked me over. Oh, fuck you. I'm already over it. Whatever. And then I'm thinking, you know, is it really fuck that person? It might be fuck that person, but come on, G, like, you know, are you really over it? And it's okay to be emotional. You know, you say it all the time, and this is a quote that you've said that I love, is although we're men, although we're masculine, we have a feminine side. We have an emotional side for a reason. I feel like I relate to a lot of young men, and not just with my past actions or my past struggles, but sorry. A lot of men are emotional and they don't understand it, so it turns to anger. It turns to frustration, and that's when shit gets dangerous. Whenever you're disrespected or you're dealing with the death of a loved one or this girl fucks you over, and I'm emotional, I'm sad, I'm heartbroken, I don't know how to deal with it, so I'm gonna beat the fuck out of somebody when I'm drunk, or I'm gonna shoot up a building, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, so.
And use your feelings as an excuse.
Yes.
That's what it is. You know, jumping off the cliff. The wolf is jumping off the cliff for a bird. So the wolf might actually get the bird. It might, you know, might kill it, eat it, whatever.
Killing itself in the process.
But now the wolf has jumped off the cliff. It's too late to turn back. So, you know, that's how I kind of relate feelings.
Yeah.
You know, you could go through a situation and you're saying, you know, F that B, whatever, this and that, but it's over with.
Yeah.
You know, you can sit there and think 10 minutes. You can sit there and think for a day, a week. You still got to do what you need to do. You still have to keep growing. If you're thinking about that same thing, you'll be here instead of elevating.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and not necessarily devil's advocate, but how I truly feel is for me. So, like for you, chick, whatever happens, whatever, you're over it the next day, and I'm like, you good? You're like, of course I'm good. Why would I not be good? For me, people use emotions as an excuse. I use emotion as a reason, right? So I'm hurt by what you told me. That's not my reason to lay in bed and cry and be a bitch all day. You know, I can do that. I could give up, you know, whatever. But you doubt me. You don't see the value in me, and you wanted to leave me and do me dirty. Fuck you. I'm gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? Right. Use it as a reason rather than an excuse. You know, so but that's also two different type of men. Mm-hmm. You know,
as long as the growth is in there,
exactly.
Elevation, that's all it comes down to.
Because for me, I can't disperse that emotion like that. You know, lifting weights helps, but it doesn't do everything for me. For me, it's easy for me to get out anger.
Mental,
yeah, but it's hard for me to get out sadness. That's something that's real hard for me to get out.
That's when you have to perfect crafting your own mind. You know, controlling your own thoughts.
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to. That's what we're dealing with today's world is anxiety. I'm sorry, it might be
or
sensitive.
Depression.
You're right. It might be sensitive to some of y'all, but those are for the ones who use it as a crutch, you know, where it's not.
Preach.
So you just got to get to work. You still got to go to work. You think your boss is gonna care about cat dying, like, nah, show up to work.
Your boss's cat probably died yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We all deal with the same shit. That's one thing that I've noticed through Human Connection is, and I truly believe this, we all deal with the same things. We all go through the same things. It might be different circumstances, but it's based on reaction, not what happens to you.
It's about the loss, not the shake.
Yeah, because I could lose 5 times as much of shit as you have and still bounce back better because you crying in your bed talking about depression. You know, I don't. Go ahead.
And say just the more you do that, the more you bounce back and bounce back.
And it's easier.
Yeah.
Ooh, stop.
Of course it makes sense. Of course it sounds cliche and easy, but
It's not easy.
People do these things and don't bounce back.
So, I mean, I would say that the next big thing that comes to mind when I think about the beginning or changing is sacrifices. Sacrificing family, friends, actions.
Negativity.
Bro, I love doing some shit that I can't do. I love, bro, whenever I was doing drugs, I loved it. And I don't say that in a bad way because I'm a changed man, but, excuse me? Shut up. Nah, hell nah. But I'm just using that as an example. Let's just say it's going out and drinking every night for somebody. Let's just say it's women, for example. Let's just say it's men's approval, for example. You can love these things, but they're not healthy for you. You know, I can love going out and drinking every night and being the life of the party or whatever, but then, you know, that's not doing anything for me except negative, you know? And so that's a sacrifice I'm having to make. If I have friends around me, and I told this to C, I said this on the one that got deleted, but I've had friends around me. I came to T last week and I said, man, I'm gonna cut everybody off but my 2 brothers, that's it. Because I'm tired of these people talking about bullshit. Like, I'm coming around you talking about stupid anime shit. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? We're trying to get rich. We're trying to grow, trying to be real people. And you worried about fucking Drake's new album coming out like I fucking care. You know, and that sounds bad. And I love these people. I love these people with all my heart. Don't get me wrong at all. But I have to sacrifice you for me. I have to give you up. Because I'm not benefiting anything, and that sounds egotistical, but it ain't. Because if you were to come around me and drop that bullshit, we'd both grow. You know? What are some sacrifices you had to make? Sorry, I'm getting passionate about this.
No, you're good. Sacrifices is big. I would say, like, one of the biggest sacrifices into living from truth and embracing yourself for who you are is not cutting corners. Speaking your mind in a way, in the right way, but not cutting corners is the biggest sacrifice because you're going to have to sacrifice. I'm going to bring up the bag.
Yes.
As an analogy to sacrifice. Like
the bag. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
As far as say we get some wine, we get something, you know, it's in a bag tied in a knot. I want to untie the knot.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
That made more sense.
Okay, so the story is I'm untying the bag, kind of struggling, taking my time, figuring it out. Yeah, grocery bag, whatever. And Sam asked, well, why don't you just rip it, you know? I don't want to rip it. You know, I don't want this knot to defeat me. This knot is saying I don't want to open, so I'm going to cheat and just rip the bag. But no, what if 30 minutes later, oh, I need a bag, but I just ripped it, you know? It's kind of the same analogy as jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
With the bird, it's too late. You ripped the bag.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, nah, be a man, untie it, and find a way. Use your head and critical thinking. It's very small, but it's an analogy for everything. And it's just not cutting corners and doing what you're supposed to do and not what you want to do. And that's what it takes to be a man or a woman, a lady, instead of a girl or a boy. You know, you have to grow up and not be defeated. That's what it is. Don't be defeated by anything. It could be opening a wine bottle. It could be just anything. Don't stop until you accomplish it completely.
I was going to say, although the ripping the bag is easier, although it's quicker, it's more satisfying for me to rip the fuck out that bag and get what I want, whatever. Like you said, you might need a bag in 30 minutes. You know, and you talk about, at least for men, I can't speak on women that much because I'm not a woman, you know, but for men, for me, I have to get up in the morning and go to the gym, or else I'm a lazy fuck. You know, and I'd love to rip that bag and sit in here and sleep in and eat burgers all day and be a fat bitch. But that's cutting corners. Am I wrong?
That's cutting corners.
That's cutting corners.
Because we all can do that. We all can rip the bag.
Exactly. And I could eat myself to the brink of diabetes, to the brink of high blood pressure. But I'm not sick though. But I'm not overweight though. I'm 2 pounds. I'm 2 pounds before I hit the obesity limit.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck. Like that's not right. You know what I mean? You cutting corners. You trying to be just good enough, and that ain't good enough.
We all deserve an A+, not C's get degrees. We get A+.
C's get degrees. I haven't heard that since like high school.
Right.
So I mean, ways to act upon change instantly.
So ways are same kind of thing. People ask me why I'm vegan, this and that. You know, I'm more getting into the macrobiotic diet, which is more intuitive diet. I won't get too much into it, but it's knowledge. That's one way to act upon change instantly is to read or to see a documentary, something to enlighten you and empower you with knowledge.
Yes.
And you might have heard this, which I'm sure we all have, but you can't take away someone's knowledge. You can take away their car, house, money, but the knowledge is forever there. So as long as we have knowledge, we cannot be manipulated. You know, if we don't show up to McDonald's would be out of business.
You said this last
night.
night.
Yeah, because it's just so simple. But we all want to rip the bag, go to McDonald's, and get a burger.
And that's the game there.
It's a standby.
What I was gonna say, that's the game is we could go to Main Squeeze and get an acai bowl and get some real nutrients for $10. Or I can go and get 5 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's and I can eat 2 of them, give my kid 1 of them, and still have dinner tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the game though. That's
and just to have more money to buy
more McDonald's.
Not even that. A new Apple phone. Some new shoes. Something that's materialistic. That's not going to help you grow in life.
I agree. I'm gonna play devil's advocate again.
Hey, go ahead.
As far as materialism goes, clothes, phones, all this shit, obviously it doesn't fucking matter. You know, that's not what I'm arguing. I will say they do help you grow. And I say that because like for me, I get a new phone, it's faster, I'm able to connect with more people, it has more storage, I can do more things with my business on it, whatever it is, or clothes. I can't tell you how differently I get treated, even by myself. I got this shirt on. Shout out my mom, she hates this shirt. She told me to shout her out, but I don't think she'll like it like that. But Boys in the Hood, right, whatever, cool. I've had this shirt for years. People treat me different in this shirt compared to how I was dressed last podcast, where I'm dressed up to the nines. I'm in my business fit with my dress shoes on. People think I'm smarter if I'm dressed that way, but I'm the same man. You know, so I would say materialism is worthless, but it ain't useless. You know,
but that's part of the manipulation. If you just
it is, of course. I'm playing chess.
So now you wear Boys in the Hood. People are so materialistic. They're gonna see the shirt and judge you off of the material. So unfortunately, we have to blend in a little bit. You know, sometimes you got to play the role, and infiltrate is a key word. Infiltrate. You know, I could infiltrate the hospitals, get nice and close with a doctor, working on a brochure so that I can help their patients deal with their own health. You know, send them to me instead of giving them medicine. Have a number one procedure to consultate with a health coach instead of giving them medicine, because doctors only have 7 minutes each patient.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. They only have 7 minutes each patient. That's why what's your symptom? Here's the medicine. What's your symptom? Here's the medicine. You gotta go. They have quotas. You know, this medicine has dates on it. The what do you call it? Not only medicines, but the vials, the machines, X-rays, everything has quotas, and this can be outdated. Sorry, but
yeah.
But they have quotas, so that's their job too as well, to push these things. let's give this person an X-ray because this machine hasn't been on for, you know what I'm saying?
Of course. Same thing with police.
We have all of this. I'll use Advil or whatever medicine, you know. We have all of this, we need to use it up. So let's start pitching it. You know, it's just like restaurants. We're in the restaurant business. We have a lot of sea bass. Let's push sea bass, guys. It's
Bro.
the same thing.
That's funny. That's funny as hell you say that. So I got a new phone today, and then he asked me what color I wanted, and I said, you know, it doesn't matter to me, but let me know what you have. And he said, I have every color, but I need to pitch you black. I need to sell six.
That's a good man, though.
I need to sell 6 more black phones before the end of the year, because that's what I really need to sell to push even distribution. And it is a good man. Shout out Paul. But it's like, you know, you're talking about this. It's in every industry. I mean, and I'm thinking about school. I'm thinking of, you know, I don't gonna get into it too deep.
I know it's hard not to.
But yeah, how many employees do we need to push out of these schools before the next 5 years?
Yeah.
How many, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, I can't get too deep into it. I'm gonna fuck it up, but
No, this one should post, guys.
we'll see.
But we're not name dropping a lot of things we did before, and we're not giving sources like we did before. But of course, feel free to please comment if you want more information or want to find sources on information that we're talking about.
And once we get big enough and we get a following, I do plan on making a Patreon for like $1 a month. You know, or something $2 a month. To where we can post whatever the fuck we want and we can say whatever we want, no censorship. Because man, it was literally just as soon as we stopped recording the last one, rip. Like I can't even watch it on my phone.
Can't even press play.
Can't share it, duplicate. I'ma stop. But like, it's wild. It's crazy, and it's because I feel like we're known because we talk about these things a lot. And you have Siri on your phone, whatever. But
let's talk about, you know, ways to change instantly, which is of course the knowledge, information. That's something that will stick with you. There's no way I can eat a cheeseburger because of my knowledge on the cheeseburger. You know, let's get that out the way. We talked about that, informing yourself, and that's how to maintain the life you want to live. As far as books and everything.
Absolutely.
But it's also 2 big major things that will change your life. Situational awareness and emotional intelligence, which we've kind of talked about as well. Emotional intelligence, you don't want to jump off the cliff for the bird and kill yourself. You know, think about that before you jump. You know, the bird can fly away. You're gonna kill yourself worrying about the bird when you can turn around and it's everything you need on land. But as far as situational awareness, that's kind of how to, referring back to anxiety, which of course I don't necessarily believe in because it's thoughts that are taking over your brain. You know, if you don't control your brain, someone else will.
Preach.
And that's part of the manipulation tactics that we deal with day to day. You know, so if you can find out the situation, you won't have anxiety because you know, you can't be convinced that 2 + 2 is 7. Like that's no, I can't be convinced. But that's what anxiety is. Like, oh, 2 + 2 is gonna be 7. That's wrong. Like, it's not gonna work out because it's not the right answer. Like, well, first of all, that hasn't happened yet. Second of all, that's not the answer. Third of all, if you know the answer, you won't even be thinking of first and second. You know, like you just know. So there's no sense to think of any theoretical problems because they haven't happened. There's a video, a meme going around that I'm sure everyone is aware of now. The more you fuck around, the more you find out.
I was not expecting you to say that, man.
And it's so simple. Things are so simple. Life is simple. People just overcomplicate it. This is why Nipsey made a lot of hustle.
Nipsey made a lot of hustle?
He made a lot of hustle. He did. Shout out Nipsey, but he talked about logic and how logic is only so good, you know, because someone can think, oh, well, I'm doing drugs because of this and that and that, and that's their logic. I'm doing drugs. Or, you know, my logic, I'm stealing. I got to steal because I got to eat. My kids need diapers, and so I got to stick people up. Like, no, that's not, it still doesn't make sense.
I'm a victim of that mentality.
It's not a good logic.
Yeah.
It's just right or wrong. That's the part about cutting corners. Anybody can get a gun and stick somebody up. Of course, it takes bravery and.
I think it takes either bravery or stupidity
It
or
takes
being
bravery.
desperate.
To me, it takes bravery.
Really?
To me,
Wow.
I praise. This is gonna sound crazy, but hear me out at first. I praise criminals. Not praise them, but their boldness. It takes a lot to steal a car. It takes a lot to deal with those nerve-wracking, emotions that you're going through.
Start shaking,
doing something illegal and really bad.
Yeah.
That's very bold and strong of you. So it's unfortunate that it's
Negative.
directed towards something bad, where you can take that same boldness and energy and powerness, like you could take that into, say, starting a podcast. You could go walk into multiple 5, 8 jobs and have some boldness doing that.
And I can tell
Takes
you,
bravery.
I can tell you, us starting this podcast, and I mean, you'll back me up on what I know. Now we're kind of comfortable doing this podcast, right? It's really just us kicking back, whatever. I'm opening a bottle of wine on the fucking podcast, like whatever. The first podcast we had that we did, we refilmed it like twice or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the nerves were more on my end, not necessarily him, because he's been on this shit, right? He's damn near 75 and a half, old ass motherfucking boy, grandpa, but, he's been on this journey. He's been doing this. It's a good wine. But I haven't, right? I'm only like maybe a year and a half into this. And for me, what I told T was, bro, I have to come on here and speak about what I believe. What do I believe? I think that I believe these things, but I was just unsure because it's such a public platform. It's easy in the one-on-one basis, not only with T, but just some randoms, because it's soul talk. It's float in the mouth. It's no consciousness involved. You know what I'm saying?
And we call it soul talk too because of sometimes we feed off of each other. We talk our minds, and sometimes these things we've technically never said out loud, but we talk about these things and it's our soul talking. Like, it just comes out and it just makes sense because that's what's in us. That's what's in everybody. You just have to tap into it. That's why this podcast is big and huge, because we will never talk about these things in public, at work, with friends, because no one talks about it. Yes. But as soon as one of us talk about some things like this,
it all comes out.
Whoa, I know what you're talking about. Because no one talks about it. And they're afraid. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. This is what life's about.
I can't tell you how many times I've talked, and we talk about an experience with somebody that we've interacted with the same day or the day before, and you have a revelation. You have a soul talk moment where you're having a conversation with somebody, maybe the conversation's getting real, and you're like, oh fuck, this is true, this is facts, this is how this happens, whatever it is. And maybe you guys experience that as well. Maybe you've been talking to friends that, and you realize that they're not good influences. Maybe you realize that this is what you have to do to change your life, by talking to somebody that's doing the same thing you're doing. You're like, man, it's negatively affecting you. I get to change, So, little soul talk moments. Keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I want to kind of touch on this.
Yeah, bring it up, man.
Analogies are big because analogies can cover a lot. That's why it's called analogies, of course, to align all kind of topics and things together, all into one. And I was in 10th grade. With Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat all came out. So I was fully aware of what was going on. I was one of the last ones to download those things, whereas all my other classmates, of course, get it instantly. not thinking fully.
Yeah, not
Whatever.
researching and nothing. Yeah.
Whatever, you know. It's not like I'm better or anything. It's just my life and how I'm brought up. How I'm gonna think about something that I do before I do it, and not just jump off the cliff for the bird.
I agree.
But that's the analogy. But I was the last one to download these things, and I only had to download them because everyone else had to. And I know that's somewhat of an excuse, but I still want to be a part of society and the community, and I want to help empower in any way. So this is what I have to do. I'm downloading and joining it. Finally, the last ones. You know, I'm trying to find the trends and this and that, and understand how to operate it. For me, I want to understand how to touch other people and how I can fit myself onto this, not how Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat can fit into me. No, it's like I'm wearing these clothes. I wear these clothes. These clothes don't wear me. You know, I make Nike. Nike. Just because I'm wearing Louis doesn't mean I'm cool. I'm wearing Louis. So I'm making Louis. Yeah, so,
you make Louis cool.
Yeah,
Louis,
but it's part of confidence and being comfortable in your own skin. But
yes,
now that everyone has Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, it's like, dang, now I gotta get it. So the analogy is, now that everyone has a driver's license and a license plate,
don't get too much into it.
now I have to get it. Now I have to get it. And now people might think, well, yeah, don't you have to? No. That's not true laws. That's not the Constitution. That's not our God-given rights. You think I'm getting too
Maybe a little bit, just with the.
Think so?
Bro, I'd say don't risk nothing on this episode.
All right, well I'm gonna stop there. But those who know, know.
I'm just scared, man. Like,
I understand. Well, we'll see how this goes. But those who know, know. Those that don't know, please comment. I will feel free to answer any questions and direct you to some.
Yes.
To some videos.
That's the main thing.
And acknowledgement.
Or we can go live on Instagram. Or we could, I'll be down to go live after this. After we maybe get some food and we can go live. And
based on if y'all have some questions and want to find out some more information in depth. Because this is why we all have to do certain things because everyone's doing it. So if everyone didn't do it, if everyone didn't go to McDonald's would not be a thing. So that's all these analogies just come all together in line.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna stop there.
And the thing is, like, you see me stop and see, it has nothing to do. I love, and I've told him this before, I love whenever he comes on these rambles. I have the same rambles. You know, we both are so passionate about this. But low key, like, I don't want to say I'm scared of the repercussions of our words, because I'm not. You know, and this is one thing we've spoke on, and I think I spoke about it in the one that got deleted, but whenever you come to terms with these things, especially what we believe and what we preach and what we truly stand behind, we're willing to die over this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because it's that small saying, like, if you're not willing to die, which is, some people aren't. Some people aren't well informed enough to understand on what they're dying for, But at least live for change.
Mm-hmm.
If you won't die for change, at least live for it.
Yes.
At least live and try to deal with change in some kind of way or manner. But I'm willing to die.
Do you think they're coinciding? Living for change is dying for change?
No.
How so? Because explain that to me,
Because technically we're living for change right now. Because we're trying to filter ourselves to live.
I see.
Which is posting this, creating content. We're trying to live media-wise, not even physically. Just media we're trying to live. That's surface level.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to tell you everything, But once we get to a certain point, we can have that. We talk about $1, $2 donation. Patreon, or we have our own website to where we can control our own information. But we'll get there, But that's the difference, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to quit my job. I'm willing to. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I know, because it's that fine line, bro. Because last episode, we don't know where we went too far.
Right.
We don't know where they said, "Oh, we can't do this because it's too much." But we also said a lot of shit last episode, like a lot.
I think a lot of it was based on sources.
You think?
I sourced a lot. You know, we talked about the
documentaries, the books,
and we name dropped a lot of things that our viewers could refer to
and see as facts
and be enlightened instantly.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. You know, as soon as you know, you'll forever know. You can't turn back.
No,
This is why. This is why you can't see certain animals be slaughtered, and yeah, they won't allow cameras in there. They won't allow health departments come in there and record because they know if you knew, you wouldn't do it. So they have to hide these things. So we are trying to restrict our sources right now because we don't want to.
You know, and I'll say, I think the bigger we get, the harder it is to censor that. If we're releasing this information, we can talk about these things whenever we're bigger because what are they going to do? Censor it? Because we got thousands of people behind us, you know what I'm saying? But right now, we're just little pawns. We're just little fish in a big sea. And it makes sense. But I mean, like, and back to like the, I have my big monkey lips on accident. But back to willing to die for change. You know, T has told me something that has stuck with me. You know, stand for something, die for something. You know, if you live for nothing, you die for nothing. You know, you need to stand up and say what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you kill us right now, you'll just create martyrs out of us. You know, like martyrs. You know, and if you don't know what a martyr is, that's somebody that dies behind their beliefs and dies for change and truly believes in what they say. And, you know, if you kill us, you'll just prove our point. You know, and I don't mean to get direct, but that's what it is. You know, and so, but you're talking about somebody that's willing to live for change, or it's easy. I had a conversation with my mother today, and I'm telling her about the censorship of the last episode and how I'm willing to die over this. I'm willing to die to spread my message. I'm willing to be crucified in public. Hang me in the streets for what I'm saying because it's truth and it's love. You know, and she said, I'll just keep teaching at my school and I'll just keep you know, hanging out at the house. And I said, of course, because they make it easy to confide. They make it easy to confide with them. Just go along, be a little pigeon, be a little robot, you know. And one of our friends, Marshall, I'm not calling you out, but we had this conversation. I love you, brother. But, you know, he's asking these same questions. And I said, imagine if we're all slaves on a plantation. And, you know, that slave, you know, you do the work for him, whatever, and he's providing food for you. You can lay your head at night. Are you still not going to look for a way out of that? Are you still not going to try to escape that plantation? Are you just going to get comfortable and sit there? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Bro, like,
that's because they think it's easy. But really, they're using a fear tactic, which...
Yeah.
There's studies behind it. I won't get into it and where I got it from, but there's studies that are behind this that they know that the mind is weak, about 9 out of 10 weak, based on the studies. Yeah, about 9 out of 10 is going to be weak. So they know fear, and that's part of death. You know, and we can kind of end on this.
Yeah. Cause I'm hyped up. Like
I know.
I'm fucking around to say something.
Deep, but as far as death, referring to death is time. You know, time is part of death, and everyone's afraid of time and being young and living their best life, and that's why they want to make it easy so that they can go to the movies and drink with friends because that's life. Like, we run out of time, YOLO, you know, all this and that. But time, technically, you know, I've heard this, I won't say the sources, but time is a forever constant that is saying no to God's invitation. Time, I'm going to say it again, time is a constant that is saying no to God's invitation. So
explain it.
Every second, we're saying, no, we need more time, we want to live. But God is saying,
do the right thing.
No. God's saying, Forget time. You can die right now.
Oh,
This is my invitation.
I feel you.
You know, we're all trying to live as long as we can to say no to God's invitation. God just, die. Come to me. Come to me. Forget all this. This is bull. So as long as you live through truth and don't die with guilt, you know, God can take care of you, or the higher up, or the different realm or dimension, whatever you think of. Your soul is immortal as long as you live through truth and don't live through guilt.
I have one last thing I want to say, and it's based off that, and it's for those of you that are unsure of this message, for those of you that are unsure about us.
People know this. Go ahead.
Of course, but you know, it's a hard decision to make to live by the right morals, because the things that are not pure are fun, you know, or they're easy, or you're used to it, whatever it is. But man, I'll tell you this, and I swear if I keep talking about it, it'll make me emotional, man. Whenever you live by these morals and by truth and by love, I cannot tell you how satisfying my life is. Talking to whoever I want, talking to everybody, and knowing that I have the purest intentions for these people. It is the realest thing I've ever experienced. And I would just challenge you to speak to us, speak to somebody that feels this way. Like, I just want you, I would beg you to join us.
I mean, I know what you're saying. It's Dr. Sebi's quote. And Dr. Sebi says a conspiracy in itself. I know.
Believe you said it, yeah.
I know, but once you love yourself, you'll love everyone.
Yes.
And then I'll end it on that. And that's episode 2. Hopefully this one will upload. And I appreciate y'all watching. And please comment, like, and subscribe.
Stay conscious and stay genuine.
All right, guys.